adjust my camera here just a little bit. I'm going to show you today how I made a fun little card with the Darling Dinos stamp set bundle from Stampin' Up's current mini catalog, which is one of the new bundles that became available on the 7th of January. So it's only been around for a little while. And it's such a cute little stamp set and die set. And yeah, just figured I'd make a little birthday card here and share that with you today. And yeah, hopefully you like it, and it's a lot of fun. And for those of you that are wondering, I am definitely feeling better today. I don't know for sure if I just got a mild version of whatever my daughter had over the weekend. She was down for the count and kind of sick and coughing and really snotty and just feeling miserable. I just got like a runny nose and sneezing my head off for a couple of days, and now I'm feeling good. So hopefully all is good. So, all right. I see Karen and Carol and Pam and Roxanne and Judy and Carol and Danette and Amy, Christine, everybody, thanks for hopping in. And well, I can't say that I don't have any more sniffles because I always have allergy stuff going on, Karen, but definitely don't feel any worse than normal. So I'm hopeful that, whatever it was, I got a mild version of it. Not happy that she got sick, but, just glad that she kind of kept the worst part to herself. Anyhow, so this is the card we're going to be making today. So, hey, Sally, thanks for joining. Just a fun little one, a couple layers, a little die cutting, a fun little sentiment, and that's it for today. So it should be hopefully pretty quick and easy, and something that you can remake yourself if you love this little stamp set too. So this is the Darling Dinos stamp set, and it's got some fun sentiments in it. This one, the roar means, and then it leaves a little space in the middle, blank, and then in dinosaur, so you can fit in any of the sentiments, mix and match them as you want to in here. And they're your little dinosaurs. There's flower image, a party hat, balloon, glasses if you want to put them on this little dinosaur, some plant images, and oh gosh, there's some little grass images, and yeah, stones and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm definitely glad that I didn't get as sick as she did. So thank goodness. All right. So that is the stamp set. Dies are, again, the Darling Dinos dies, and there are coordinating images. So we've got our stamp set here, and the dinosaurs each have a die cut. There's a die cut for the that turns into something that looks like a half of an egg. So if you wanted to make it look, a baby card and have a little dinosaur kind of hatching out of an egg, you can do that. Let's see, what else have we got here? There's a little heart image. This one goes with the bow tie. What else? The balloon, the flowers, leaves. So again, just kind of a fun little set. Oh, the top hat, party hat. So all sorts of cute things. And then this little die that I actually did use on my card today, and I actually used it as both the clouds and the shrubs. I don't know what it was actually intended for. I think it was intended to be shrubs, but it kind of looked like clouds, so I went with it. So, all right, so that is the stamp and die set. A couple other things that I used on this card is I did use one of the Spotlight on Nature, I almost called it Nested on Nature, Spotlight on Nature dies, and it's actually this one that I used. It measures about 2 1/4 inches, and it's kind of that dashed look circle. I use that for my sentiment, and then I use the Gone Fishing dies, believe it or not, to cut the little kind of ground image on my card. So I just took a piece of designer series paper and used this little border die to cut it off to the size that I wanted it to be. And it's really hard to see it, especially since it's textured. Well, the paper looks textured, but it does emboss and give you kind of a little thing that it's supposed to look like waves, I think, but it kind of looks like dirt to me too. So I just went with that. And again, these are the Gone Fishing dies and the Spotlight on Nature dies. And these are both die sets that are available in the current annual catalog. All right. Couple things, online exclusives. Make sure that you are checking those anytime you are out in the Stampin' Up! Online store. They are items that are not tied to any catalog, so they kind of come and go as necessary. This is a very small sampling of some of the online exclusives that are available right now. They come and go in stock and out of stock, so if you see something out there that you like, go ahead and grab it. Again, they're not tied to any catalog, so things will kind of come and go, and yeah, so lots of good things out there, lots of pretty things out there, and there's pages and pages of them, so definitely go take a look at that. And then don't forget, Celebration is going on right now too, so you get, for every $60 in merchandise that you order from Stampin' Up, they will give you a free product from the Celebration brochure. All right, and I realized I forgot my glasses. Hang on. I was looking at everything and I'm like, why does it look so blurry? And I'm like, oh, because I'm old and I forgot my old lady glasses. Let me put these on. so that hopefully we can all see what I'm doing, and yeah, most of all, me see what I'm doing. Okay, I have got a piece of crumb cake cardstock that I have cut to a card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4 across the middle. And then because I was running a little low on the Timeless plaid designer series paper, I cut off just little pieces of it. So because most of the card front was going to be covered up anyway, I just used like little 1-inch strips of it to cover the top and the bottom of the card front. If you have more of this paper than I do, because clearly this was one of my favorite patterns in the pack, so if you have more of this paper than I do, then you certainly can just cut it to 5.5 by 4 1/4 and just cover the entire card front. But this is the kind of cheater way to do it. So I'm going to use a little Stampin' Seal. And these are technically 6-inch strips, so they're a little longer than what I need them to be. But I do find that that's easier to deal with when I'm doing this sort of thing, so that I can trim it down rather than trying to put something on and have it be just a hair too short, and then I'm sad and it doesn't work. So I usually just will stick them on like this and then trim off the excess. Just grab paper snips, or you can run it through your trimmer, whatever. And then we'll do the same thing with the other one. Want to make sure that I'm lining up my plaid relatively the same so that it looks like one continuous piece of paper rather than two little ones like I've got right now. So yeah, the cheater way is definitely, yeah, I do it often just because, yeah, it's, especially with designer papers, when you've got a really pretty paper or your favorite pattern or whatever, and you're trying to conserve a little bit, that this seems to work well for me. So, all right. So again, just trimming off the excess here. There we go. And then nobody will know but you and me that I cheated and didn't cover the entire card front. Okay. Next up, we've got pecan pie cardstock, and this is cut to about 3 3/8, if I remember correctly. Yep, 3 3/8 by about 5.5, so it should cover the entire card front. And then we have a piece of Pool Party, and this one should be cut to 3 1/4 by 5.5, so they should layer kind of nicely one over the top of the other. Again, if I've cut everything correctly. So just going to use a little Stampin' Seal here to adhere the two pieces together. And hey, Cindy, thanks for joining, and Roxanne and Mary Ruth and Marilyn and anybody else that I miss. I see Karen is here as well, so thanks for joining. All right, just adhering the two together, layering them one on top of the other, and then we're going to adhere this to the card front, again, just with a little Stampin' Seal around the edges, and then we'll roughly center it on the card front. And maybe I should line this up so in a way that I can actually center it. Probably would be better, so that I've got kind of a general guide with the grid paper. It kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how much, you know, whether you've got it centered top to bottom. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just put it on there and make it be close. All right. Next thing that I did is, again, I used some of the Floral Delight, I believe is the name of it, designer series paper from the current mini catalog. And this is a piece, it's actually floral on the backside, which this doesn't look very florally, but I love it when Stampin' Up kind of matches the designer papers so that we get all sorts of different things, because this is great with floral too. So, all right, so this is the Gone Fishing dies, and I just used this little die cut. This started out as about 1 inch tall by about 5, well, it's closer to 6 wide, and I just used this die cut and I cut it with that. And we're going to stick this on the card front. We're just going to line up the square bottom with the bottom of the Pool Party panel here. And when I stick this on, I'm actually going to be careful to only put adhesive down near the bottom and then a little bit up the sides, because I need to be able to tuck the little shrubs as well as a sentiment underneath the designer series paper. So I don't want to put adhesive all over the back of it and then struggle with the little pieces I want to tuck under it a little bit later. All right, and there we go. Yep, definitely the plaids are the best. Most definitely. Oh, and I realize this is a little bit longer than what I needed, so I'm going to have to trim this off with the edge of my card front. All right. So again, for me, it's always better to have things be a little bit longer because you can always trim it off. It's kind of disappointing when I cut it too short and then I end up having to cut a whole new piece of paper. So there we go. Again, Floral Delight, which is it's the kind of daisy looking paper. It's all yellows and greens and a little bit of brown in it. So that is where that came from. And then also from that same pack of paper, again, it's floral on the flip side. You can see that. I cut the little clouds or shrubs. Again, I'm not entirely sure what they are. I went with some clouds and some shrubs with this. Just this little die from the Darling Dino's dies. And I cut pieces of the Old Olive version of this. So this is kind of a textured pecan pie is what I would say that one is. And then Old Olive is this one. And again, it's from that same pack of paper. And we are just going to stamp in pecan pie ink. Again, this is one of the images from the Darling Dino stamp set, and it is that one right there. And I think it's just designed to stamp on these little shrubs. I'm not entirely sure that it's designed to stamp anything else. So that is what I used it for. I just looked at the samples in the catalog, and that's kind of where I came up with some of the ideas on a few of these images in this set. So it's got two little ones. To me, it looks like little kind of the twigs or branches in a shrub. So that's what I went with on these. Pecan pie is the ink that I'm using, and we're just stamping the little shrub images with that. Close that up. And then I'm going to grab some Stampin' Seal again, and we're just going to put a little bit of that on the back of this little shrub, and we're going to tuck that one in over here. Again, just sliding it right underneath that Designer Series paper layer that I've already got on there. And then we're going to do the other one, put a little Stampin' Seal on that one as well. And we're just going to tuck that in, get out of the way, ink pad, over here on the other side. So there we go. Got our two little shrubs in place. Next up, I've got a piece of Lemon Lolly cardstock, and we're going to do the sentiment stamping on that. So again, I'm going to go back to my pecan pie ink pad, and I've got the Roar Means and then Lisa Blank in there in Dinosaur, and we're going to stamp that one first. Just going to ink it up well with pecan pie and sort of stamp it here in the center of my Lemon Lolly little panel here. Closing that one up. And then I've got the birthday sentiment, and you may know, well, though it's hard to see here, so I'll pull out the stamp set. So the happy birthday actually has an exclamation point on the end of it. And originally I had stamped it with the exclamation point on it. And then I realized it made it just a hair too long for the circle die that I wanted to use to cut the sentiment out. So when I inked it up, I basically just inked everything except for the exclamation point on it and stamped it that way. So I'm going to give it a shot and try that again. Got Old Olive ink, and I'm just going to ink up the happy birthday sentiment all the way over, but excluding the exclamation point. And that's the one bonus of these photopolymer stamps, as you can see right through them, and be able to get your sentiment inked up the way you want it to be. And then we're going to stamp it here. Hopefully I got it roughly centered. Again, Old Olive ink is the ink that I used on this one. And then I'm going to grab my nested essentials. These are not the nested essentials dies, the Spotlight on Nature dies. And I'm going to grab this, the little circle that measures about 2 1/4 inches wide. And we're just going to cut out the sentiment with that. And it fits kind of almost perfectly right in there. So we've got the happy birthday that fits inside it. And I'm actually going to slide it down just a touch so that the happy birthday is centered. Since I'm going to be tucking this underneath my Designer Series paper, I don't care that it's a little extra down here at the bottom. So let me go run this through my die cutting machine. I'll be right back. All right, set that aside, and then I'm going to grab, again, a little bit of Stampin' Seal, and we're going to adhere this die cut to the card front. And I'm just going to take that and, again, roughly center it here. Nope, that looks more like centered. So again, just roughly centering it and tucking the sentiment down here underneath the layer of designer series paper that I've got on here. And then we'll stick that down. And then I'm going to do my stamping of my dinosaurs. So I've got just basic white cardstock, got my little dinosaur images here and the rocks, and got tuxedo black memento ink. And we are going to stamp the images on the basic white cardstock panel. So there we go, got dinosaur number 1. And then we'll do dinosaur number 2 right over here. And then do a set of the rocks. And I actually did do a set of the rocks already ahead of time, so you didn't have to watch me do that twice, because, you know, it's not very exciting watching somebody stamp a deck at something over and over again when it's all the same thing. All right, so I've got some Stampin' blends here, and I've got a mess going on. I'm going to start with the Old Olive, and that is this little dinosaur here. So I'm going to color his body. And I don't know any of the dinosaur terms, so you'll, whatever this thing is around his head, the top of his head, we're going to color that with light Old Olive. So that's what I'm going to start with. And we're just going to trace around the edges here. And try not to get it on the little horns. Trace around this one. The little horn we're going to color in crumb cake. So we'll be using a little different color to do that. So I'm going to try not to get too much Old Olive ink on the little horn and tusks or whatever they're called. Again, I don't know the dinosaur terms. So, all right. Again, light Old Olive is what I'm using first. So, hey, Kathy, thanks so much for hopping in today. So I'm going to trace around the little dots on his back, although it doesn't really matter. I guess I probably wouldn't need to be too careful about tracing those, because we're just going to color over the top of them with dark Old Olive, so I don't think anyone would notice if I colored over those accidentally. All right, and again, just filling in the rest of the body with the light Old Olive. All right. Almost done with this little guy. Well, the majority of this little guy. All right, then I'm going to grab my dark Old Olive, and we're just going to do the little spots or dots on the dinosaur's back with those. And then the dinosaur's little fingernails. Again, I don't know the term, whatever these little nail things are. The covers over the feet with dark Old Olive. And then I've got light and dark crumb cake Stampin' Blends markers, and we are just going to color in the little horn on his nose and his little horns on his head with the light and dark Old Olive. And I just am doing every other one, every other little spot on here. So there we go. All right, dinosaur number 1 is all colored. Second dinosaur, I used crumb cake on this one. So again, Stampin' Blends marker, just tracing around the edge here. Try not to go over the little belly, because we're going to color that in petal pink ink. And nice thing about Stampin' Blends is and these kind of fun images, is that I don't need to spend a ton of time worrying about getting everything colored in perfectly and blending and all that sort of thing, because this is just, it's a fun little image. And so I didn't spend a lot of time doing a bunch of coloring and blending on it. So, hey, Susan, thanks for hopping in. I'm glad you're joining today. And no worries. All right. Coloring his little face, or her little face. I don't know if it's a he or a she. The little dinosaur face. Again, Stampin' Blends using light crumb cake. Coloring in the rest of the body, and then I need to do the little hands here too, since I did the feet already. And just making sure that I've got everything colored in. And then we're going to grab the dark crumb cake, and that is what I'm going to use to color in the little spiny looking things down the back of the dinosaur and the little polka dots on him or her. All right. And again, I'm sure there's an official name for these little spiny looking things, but I don't know what it is. It's just a cute little dinosaur. So coloring in the polka dots on the back, And then the little fingernails again, fingernails and toenails with dark crumb cake. And then final color on the dinosaur is we've got petal pink, and I'm going to do light petal pink for his little belly to start with. And then just come back in with a little bit of dark petal pink. Oop, I grabbed the wrong end of it, but that's just fine. And just do a little bit of shading around the edge. And then come back and do a little blending. There we go. And then the final thing we need to color is the rocks. And I've got gray granite Stampin' Blends marker. Just going to go ahead and color those in with the light to start with. And 2 quick little rocks there. So those are quick and easy to color. And like I said, I did do 2 sets of rocks on the card front, but I colored another one ahead of time, so you didn't have to sit and watch me do that. Just bringing in a little bit of the dark Stampin' Blends and kind of just, I don't know, blending around the one side of it so that it looks a little bit like there's a shadow, but not spending a ton of time doing a bunch of blending on it. And we'll call that good. All right, so that is it for the coloring. Then I'm going to grab the dies, and I've got this little die that cuts out this guy, this little die that cuts out this guy, and then this one that will cut out the rocks. So I'm going to go run these all through my die cutting machine really quick, and I will be right back. All right. Ooh, come on, little dinosaurs. Okay, hopefully get them all cut in one swing. All right, there are my little critters. And let's get these dies put back on here before I lose track of everything. Set those aside. And go back to the card front here. And here's my second, oh, come on, little set of rocks. So I've got 2 sets of rocks and 2 little dinosaurs. I'm going to adhere down the dinosaurs first with a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to kind of keep those a little bit centered and higher up because I'm going to tuck those rocks in around my little dinosaurs. So these are my half Stampin' Dimensionals. I do chop my dimensionals in half. If you like the whole ones, you can certainly use the whole ones, but I prefer the half ones, so those are the ones I do. So, all right, just tuck in my little dinosaur in here next to the sentiment, and same thing on the other side. Just going to put a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals underneath the dinosaur's head. Put maybe one there, and I think we'll call that good. That will hold it securely on the card front, and I want to be able to tuck the little rocks in around the dinosaurs. So we're going to take this little dinosaur, and I think we'll take that, yeah, stick it on there about like that. And then I'm going to grab some glue dots here, and we will stick on the rocks. And then the only thing I have left on the card front is a couple of clouds. So, all right, so we've got this one. We're going to take this set of rocks and tuck it right underneath this little dinosaur here and put it around the sentiment. And then we've got another little set of rocks over here. Just using glue dots to make sure that we've got this stuck to the card front well. All right, we'll take that set, tuck them down there. Then I did cut 3 of the little clouds or shrubs, whatever you want to call it. Again, from this Darling Dino's die set. This little die is what I used to cut both the shrubs and the clouds, and I just cut them from basic white cardstock. And we are just going to use a little bit or a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals, and we'll adhere this on, and we'll be all done with the card front. So I'm going to take one and sort of tuck it underneath this dinosaur. Whoop, probably should try to get it on there kind of straight though. And then grab another one here and tuck it above the other dinosaur's head. So right up, whoops, only got one glue dot on there though. I need to put 2 of them. And then we'll take this one, stick it over here on this side. And then we got the final little cloud die cut, and we'll take that one and layer it over the top of the one I just stuck down. Sort of like that. And that's it for the card front. On the inside of the card, I did go ahead and rather than making you watch me color the dinosaur again a second time, I did stamp him ahead of time in Tuxedo Black Memento ink, colored it the same way I did the one on the card front with Crumb Cake, Stampin' Blends marker, and a little bit of petal pink over the belly of the little dinosaur. Hey, Zena, thanks for hopping in. Glad you're joining today. And then I've got Pecan Pie ink and the inside sentiment that we're going to be putting on this little card. And it says, I hope your day is dynamite. So I'm just going to stamp that kind of near my little dinosaur here to finish up the inside of the card. And again, this is basic white cardstock cut to about 4 by 5 1/4. So it should fit nicely inside my card as long as I've cut everything correctly. And then we're just going to take a little Stampin' Seal and adhere this to the inside of the card. Whoop, there we go. Flip it over and adhere that inside the card like that. And that's going to be it for the card. So let me fold it closed here and do a crease on with the bone folder on the top of it. And that's it. So just a fun little card, definitely a fun little stamp set bundle. Again, it's called Darling Dinos. It's got some cute sentiments, cute images, fantastic set of dies. And yeah, so you haven't seen much of this set. Oh, it's a cute one. So you should grab it. And again, it's bundled together in the current mini catalog from Stampin' Up. Don't forget, Celebration is going on now. So if you order $60 or greater, you get to pick from the free Celebration items with your order. And then don't forget about the great joining bonus too. So if you are thinking about becoming a demonstrator, now is an excellent time to join. You can get some additional free product, $30 additional free in your starter kit, or get 2 sets of Stampin' Right markers and a stamp set in your starter kit as well. Again, starter kits are $99 and they ship for free. And after you join, you get at least a 20% discount on anything that you order as a demonstrator. So there you go. There you have it. Let me know if you have questions about anything. Let me know if you have questions about joining. I will post all the details for this card on my blog tomorrow, and I'll link directly to the blog post in the description of the video, so you can go back, find all the cardstock cuts, and find all the details. There'll be linked to the product list and all that stuff, everything that I use. So, all right, thanks everybody for being here today. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll plan to be live around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday, and then again around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. Have a great rest of your day, and we will chat with you all soon.